So basically, I was gonna show you guys like how I went about going from like the original model to this. And I know somebody already did like the poly paint stuff, like how do you like paint it with color. So I was just gonna show like how to paint it with the different materials and then rendering it out to have like the shadows and stuff. This is just the back. Okay. So earlier we learned that we could use poly paint to draw colors on the model. So if you go up here, these are like the different settings for your brush. So the Z add and the Z sub are what like lets you add volume to it. So if you disable that, and we can select the RGB, which will now allow us to use color to paint on it. But not only can you use it with RGB, if you click M, it'll actually allow you to paint different materials on it. So if I chose, well first, what we have to do is we have to fill it with a material first. So if you see, like, if we change it to a different material, it'll color everything, but that's not what we want. So you can think of it as like, you know, when you're painting on like a canvas, you have to put like a white background first. You have to like fill the canvas first. So what we would do is on each individual subtool you want, let's say we could fill it with this one, because this one's clear. You would have to go do color and fill object. So you can't see the difference. So what that does basically, it fills just this subtool with the entire material. So now if I change this, this is technically filled in with that same material, but everything else isn't filled in yet. So usually when you go about painting, you want to fill everything first before you do that. So I'm just gonna like, I don't know, I'll fill this one with here, just so you can see. And then I'll change it back. Change it to, yeah. So when you have this M on with your brush, you can actually paint with different materials. So now if I go to, say I have this material on my brush, I can paint the material onto the subtool.
That's very cool.
So like, say if I only wanted part of it to be shiny. If I went to the helmet, if I only wanted this part to be shiny, I could like mask it out and then only paint it, or however you want to do that. So you can paint with materials. Another thing that you can do, if I go back to here, is you can paint with, say, just like an alpha. So say I wanted to insert like some type of logo or something, what I could do is like, say I choose this, and I change the stroke to a drag. I can add like, oh wait, hold on. If I add color to it, and I want to drag onto here, I could like put in my own logo and just kind of put it on there like that. And then the last thing I wanted to show is how I rendered it to have like shadows and stuff. So this button on the top right here is pretty much just how you render it. So if you click it automatically, it should, you can see that the shadows come up. And you can edit the way you want the shadows by going up here to where it says light, and you can move around where you want the light to be. You can add more lights if you want, and change like the settings of it. And you can also add a shadow on the floor, but in order to do that, you need to activate the floor. And then now when you press the button, it adds it there. So then now you can just render it however you like.